2:28 to go as we have a delay in the action now and some changes. Bo Ellis, a rookie from Marquette, is coming in. Tom Lagarde is going to check out.
The
You know
Celtics
Bo Ellis very well.
Yes, I do. Of course, he's had a knee problem, but he's played quite well for this club this year. The Celtics have made a good adjustment. They're getting back on defense much better than they did earlier in the first quarter.
Taken, picked up now by Simpson and rejected. Havlicek comes up with it. Off to Kermit Washington. Blocked by Hillman. Dr. Duck comes up with a block. Here's Robert Smith. Hillman again. Boy, they love him.
He did it all. He blocked the shot. Actually, Kermit should have taken the jump shot. He had it wide open. Here you can see the block. He gets the ball out. Now watch. And then he gets in on the break. But watch the interior passing of the ball on the break. One pass, right back to Darnell and dunk.
Time is called at the 10:04 mark. Denver with a 37-32 lead.
20 seconds. Green.
Welcome to the fans that have joined us here in Denver. The Denver Nuggets in the white uniforms. The Boston Celtics in the green. Our score here, Boston 58, Denver 49 with 2:01 remaining now in this first half of play. 22 seconds on the shot clock, and we have a 20-second injury timeout now for Sidney Wicks.
Sidney apparently hurt his hand. As you look at Dan Issel here, he's working pretty hard today. He's really a key to this club. They have so many great players, but when he's going well, they win.
The story here has been Denver jumping up about 10 to 12 points, hoping to see the Celtics come fighting back to climb within 2 to 4. Now they're down by 7, 58 to 49. They're playing without Dave Cowens, who has a lower back problem. And here's Wicks driving in. Bobby Jones with the rebound off to Issel. Issel playing very hard this afternoon. Bobby Wilkerson, who has 7 assists already in this game, started them out on the right track. Hook it up by Ernie D. He has 2 steals now, the last 2 times down the floor. Going to try another shot, and he got one to go.
No, that's in the land of the Giants. I don't know how he got that off. He had a number of people in on the break, and he just didn't give it up, decided to keep it himself.
Well, he missed one just a moment ago on that very same play, and it's now 58-51. Wilkerson out to Ralph Simpson. Bobby Jones. Jones against Maxwell, and Maxwell comes down with a rebound after Ernie D. And the Celtics coming right back in this game again. Chaney's got it. Somebody lost his shoe. It's Chaney. He's lost his shoe. Out it comes to Dave Bing. And all of a sudden, John McLaughlin, it's a 58-53 game.
Look at Dave Bing trying to get back to cover. Now, he shouldn't have had to do that.
That's right. Bing was on the offensive end and tried to get back defensively. Heads up play by Bing, but he commits a foul.
Well, and that's what's hurt the Celtics. Denver continues to run the break. They're getting out, and that's how they keep opening up the lead that they do open.
58-53 with 50 seconds to go here in the second period of play. And the Denver Nuggets have just bumped it up to a 76-68 lead as David Thompson now with 21 points for the afternoon.
Now the Nuggets going to the offensive boards, getting second and third shots and putting them in.
That's a long ways for Wicks, but he got it. The Boston Celtics, John, have been battling back all afternoon long, trying to stay close, and now they're within 6 again. Ralph Simpson to Issel. Wicks comes away with it. They've been getting that ball inside against Boston so effectively this afternoon. Here's Maxwell, blocked nicely that time by Bobby Jones. Thompson, off to Simpson. Havlicek brings it down. You can see Boston running at every opportunity, and Hondo gets 2 more. John Havlicek just continues to play great basketball.
That's called run and gun basketball.
15 points for him.
You know, the interesting thing about these two clubs, they move well without the ball. They execute well, and that's what makes it an exciting basketball game.
4-point lead again for the Nuggets, and Havlicek's got it, and here comes Boston again. How about that for a 37-year-old man, huh?
Come on, guys! 2-year-olds that can't move like that.
He is something. 76-74, 17 points for Havlicek.
He's not even breathing heavily.
They call him the bionic Celtic, and I understand it when you watch him play.
He's got a fountain of youth somewhere. I know he does.
And a tip by Thompson won't go, but Jones has got it. Bobby Jones makes it a 4-point lead. The Nuggets with a 78-74 lead at 4:06 in the third period. The Denver Nuggets with a 92-88 lead with 10 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the fourth period. Boston is hanging tough. They trail by 2 at the 3-period mark. Dave Bing is one of the reasons they've been playing tough, and you see how tough it is under the boards. A foul inside. A loose ball foul.
Here you see the penetration of Dave Bing. He's done it all day. If he had all the baskets that just went around like that and came out, he would have at least 10 more points.
A loose ball foul. The Celtics with the ball outside. Havlicek. He hasn't missed very many of those. Bobby Jones brings it away to David Thompson. Denver looks like they're going to open up some breathing room in this game, and Boston, just on sheer determination, has come back. They trail by 4 now. Bobby Jones.
Well, Maxwell trying to play the passing lane. He knew if Jones got it in that deep, he was in trouble, but it was a beautiful pass right over Maxwell's fingertips.
Thompson with 25, Jones with 19 points, Issel with 18. They have a 1-2-3 punch here this afternoon for the Denver Nuggets. Carmen Washington, Simpson on here. Dave Bing. Bing scored earlier in the game, hasn't scored that much in the second half. Rejected by Jones. Here comes Thompson. What tremendous touch that time by Thompson.
Here's the Jones basket, the pass just over Maxwell's hands and dunk.
So it's Jones and Thompson now, giving them a 96-88 lead. Havlicek now quarterbacking his team. Out to Kermit Washington, Darnell, Hillman on him. That shot partially blocked. Hustling over, Bing's got it. You see Washington over there? He was trying to recover his own missed shot. It'll be Boston's basketball. Those Nets are really surprising, aren't they?
Well, they're really playing well. John Williamson has helped them just tremendously in the last, 2 weeks he's been with them.
Well, he won a game a week ago today in the last second, a game on CBS, as Maxwell brings it within 6 again, 96-90. Cedric Maxwell with 16 points. Bobby Wilkerson, who just checked in, number 32, off to Bobby Jones. Darnell Hillman. Wilkerson, who had 7 assists in the first half, and he has another one.
I'll tell you, the interior passing of the Nuggets is outstanding. They do it every game, and of course you saw right there, that was just a pick and roll where Jones went to the basket, Wilkerson found it.
21 points for Jones, and Stakem matches baskets. We have a man shaken up. It's Bobby Jones. Jones, I
watch
believe, got
Wilkerson
hurt.
coming off here. Watch Jones go to the basket. See the pass, and nice.
Bobby Jones shaken up, so they'll be looking him over. He's been on the floor. He's been fighting all the way. He doesn't know what it is not to play at full tilt.
They say he plays like this in practice also, and they try to tell him to take it a little bit easier, but he only knows one way to go, and that's all out.
Well, you know, he won the award last year in the NBA as the most consistent and most productive player in the NBA.
Right.
Looking ahead, you're going to be doing a game between Milwaukee and New Orleans, John?
Yes, I will be, and of course that's a big game for the Bucks. Every game is. They're fighting Seattle and Philadelphia, Seattle going against one another for that playoff position.
And the Celtics go against those surprising Nets and Portland, Chicago. Now, Chicago losing a little ground now in that Midwest division.
They're falling back in the pack, 7 teams now for 3 positions.
Anthony Roberts. So we've got a lot of basketball remaining here. 100-92. Roberts with 4 points. Anthony Roberts. He looks like he's going to have a fine career in the NBA. Here's Bing backing in. Celtics have to work awfully hard for any shots. Here's Stakem. Thompson on him. Nice play by Kevin Stakem.
Now it's important that the Celtics close the gap a little bit more. With 7:34 to go, they've got to keep close to the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets leading by 2, 104-102. Boston with the basketball. Dave Bing, who just scored a moment ago, tries to give it to Wicks, and he's fouled by Anthony Roberts. The Boston Celtics coming in here without Dave Cowens, Curtis Rowe, and JoJo White are hanging in here tough.
Here you see the double up in the corner on Havlicek. Watch the Celtics move the ball, but look at Bing go to the basket and make the play. He's been so valuable for the Celtics today and going to the hoop.
That was Bobby Wilkerson that was guilty of fouling, and that's the second team foul now on the Denver Nuggets. A change, Kevin Stakem coming out, Don Chaney coming in, and I'll tell you, Chaney has played very, very well. He has 16 points. Wicks at the line, and he can tie it up again. Sometimes it's remarkable. You see a team like Denver blow Portland out of here after getting behind 22-4 in the first quarter. You think they could win by just coming on the floor this afternoon, but that's a game of basketball.
No way, that's the NBA, and of course the Celtics fired up without Dave Cowens.
Wicks with 14 points, 104-104. We come now to the 4:50 mark of this final period. Thompson, up it comes, Wilkerson, he overshot, and here comes Havlicek. Hondo Havlicek. Bing, and Bing starting to heat up.
Bobby Wilkerson missed 3 key shots here for the Nuggets, and of course I think the Celtics are aware of that, and they're trying to give help with Wilkerson's man.
And Denver calls a timeout. There's a foul difficulty. Havlicek with 5, Chaney with 4, as the Boston Celtics have taken a 106-104 lead. 4:34 left to go. There's some excitement here in the mile-high city of Denver. We have 4:34 remaining. And the Denver Nuggets trail 106-104 to the Boston Celtics. Darnell, Hillman in the lineup. Up it comes to David Thompson. Bobby Jones, Issel, and Wilkerson, the others in the starting lineup as they come in. And Jones gets ridiculous.
Well, they do that so very nicely. They ran a play underneath to try to set up either Issel or Jones. It didn't work. Jones goes out, sets the screen. Nice pick and roll.
Bobby Jones at 23 points. Thompson with 27. Issel with a total of 20. 106-106. The crowd really open it up now. We've got traveling on Dave Bing. Dave Bing. Carl Scheer, the general manager. You think maybe he's involved in this game?
Boy, he's fired up. I'll tell you, that guy, he's out there on needles and pins even when they're up by 30.
Carl Scheer, the president and general manager of the Denver Nuggets. 3:51. Off it comes to Wilkerson. Broken up by Havlicek. Boy, Havlicek has done it all. He's got 23 points. Wicks. And we have a foul coming up against the Boston Celtics and John Havlicek, and he's fouled out. That's the 6th foul on John Havlicek.
Havlicek broke it up at the other end. You can see here the pass going up. Wicks underneath it. Look at Bobby Jones intimidating. Havlicek coming in, and it's a foul.
Boy, that could be a big turning point in this game. You lose Hondo, and you lose what looked like 2 points. So he fouls out with 23 points.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is not a brilliant statement. That's going to hurt the Celtics. He's out. 3:41 to go, plenty of time. He's given them not only offense, but defense.
Look at the crowd, John. They are up and applauding Havlicek.
Yes, they are. That's for John Havlicek.
He had 24 points Tuesday, 24 points Friday, and here today, 37-year-old John Havlicek has 23.
They love him everywhere, don't they?
He'll be back here one more time, and I'm sure the people here in Denver will welcome that. So we have a timeout at the 3:41 mark. It's 106 all. So Boston loses an integral part of their machine here this afternoon, and they came in here depleted to begin with. I just think it's remarkable, John McLaughlin, that they could be playing like this without, for instance, a Dave Cowan.
Well, Gary, we mentioned this up front. This can happen. A club can get fired up. As you can look into the huddle of the Boston Celtics, Satch and KC, let's go and see if we can hear what they're saying.
Anybody out there with that ball, he wants some of this. They're going to play.
Well, Sad Sanders, this is really a gentleman, in the true sense of the word. Very dignified coach, 39 years old, had his number 16 retired by the Boston Celtics. 6th coach in Celtics history. Look at Larry Brown. You don't think this isn't a tough job? You're on your knees now.
He doesn't need to carry a board around with him. He's got the whole floor to draw on.
And Washington, they are pouring it on, aren't they? They've been hurt, but they're starting to really put it together. Free throws this half, Boston 4 of 4, Denver 1 of 2, and you look at the foul situation, Celtics have 14 fouls, and the Nuggets with 2.
Not a lot of fouls called game, but of course, with the Celtics on their next foul, they'll put the Nuggets into the penalty. That could be a factor also.
3:41, it's all tied up, 106. The Nuggets with the basketball. Kevin Stakem is evidently going to be the replacement now, as we have Stakem, Don Chaney, Kermit Washington, Dave Bing, and Sidney Wicks. As far as the Nuggets are concerned, they have Hillman, Jones, Issel, Thompson, and Bobby Wilkerson.
The Nuggets have a very big team in there, not only up under the basket, but also in the backcourt.
This reminder, after this close one, we'll be going out west for the Los Angeles Golden State game, the second half of our CBS doubleheader. Darnell, Hillman picked up by Chaney, broken up by Stakem. And the Celtics just won't give up in this one. Dave Bing now. He's going to set up. He's taken over leadership now that Havlicek has run out of eligibility. Chaney broken up by Jones. Stakem will retrieve it. 9 seconds now on the shot clock. 6 seconds on it. Bing with 4 on it. Issel high into the air. Brings it out down to Wilkerson. 3 minutes to go in the game. 106 It's all time. Issel backing in on Wicks. Wicks broke it up. Issel still got it. Broken up by Washington, and he's guilty of fouling. Kermit Washington picking up the foul.
Well, Wicks very upset. He blocks a nice shot here. This is the first time he's really intimidated Issel on a shot, but watch Issel stay with it. He's so tough when he gets the ball inside. Here he goes back up with it. I couldn't really tell if he was fouled or not, but apparently so, the official right on the play.
Well, John, they now are in the penalty. So he'll have 3 to make 2. Something you mentioned just a moment ago.
That's right. You know, Issel gets the ball around the basket. He is not a leaper by any sense of the word, but he's so tenacious in there. As you see Simpson come in and Hillman go out.
I tell you, Larry Brown has used his bench very well, hasn't he?
He's using a lot of people, and of course, you know, in this type of game, it's important to do that to keep them fresh.
Issel now with 21 points. It's still Thompson high with 27, Jones with 23. After that, it drops off to Wilkerson with 8. 2-point lead now for the Nuggets. 108-106. Take him off to Don Chaney. Chaney playing an outstanding game. Broken up. Saved by Wicks. Bing. Tough shot. Rebound Thompson. Off it comes to Wilkerson. Wilkerson handling the ball very well. Philadelphia now getting some distance between them and the Nets. 94-88. Here's Issel.
Oh, that big guy can put it on the floor also. Not only can he go left, he can go right.
24 points for Issel. He gets that, use that body weight so well. Here's Wicks. Broken up. Here comes Thompson. And he traveled to the ball. Thompson couldn't get rid of the ball, and he walked with it.
The Denver defense really tightening up when it has to. They're pushing the Celtics into the outside jump shot, and the Celtics missing it.
And Boston's called a timeout. The Celtics with 2:08 left in the game, trailing by 4 points, 110-106. And Sad Sanders hoping somehow to pull this one out in a great effort by his Boston Celtics. The Denver Nuggets lead 110-106 over the Boston Celtics. But Boston just hasn't given up in this game.
Well, they certainly haven't. That was a big play there. I don't really know if that was a call. Apparently it was. It came after a timeout. The lob to Wicks. It's amazing Jones even got close enough to him to foul him.
He does not get the back end of that free throw situation. They're not yet in the penalty. They're 1 foul away from that. 4 fouls against the Denver Nuggets. 110-107, a 3-point lead for Denver. Broken up by Wicks. Wicks going for the steal on Dan Issel. And Issel down the stretch has really been a force in this game.
He certainly has. This is where Wicks trying to prevent the ball from coming into Issel. He must do that. Once Issel catches it, he's just very dangerous.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Thompson. Rebound Issel. Now wait a minute. They're going to call goaltending on that anyway.
That's right. This is nothing more than a clear out high for Thompson, and he goes up. Good defense. The ball's on the rim, and they call a goaltend.
That's 29 points for David Thompson. 112-107, a minute 27. Be thinking about that MVP. Here comes Bing, broken up by Issel. Jones up to Bobby Wilkerson. Wilkerson to Issel. Blocked by Maxwell. They're going to jump it. I don't think Issel believes it.
Maxwell says, yeah, and Issel says no. Issel doing a good job of getting up the court, but Maxwell really recovering here very nicely. Here's the block. Dave Bing trying to get in there in the land of the Giants and eating Wilson basketball. Here you can see the ball being advanced by Wilkerson. He gets it into Issel. Oh, we didn't catch the block.
Anyway, Boston has the basketball after the jump. 112-107. Stakem in trouble. That was beautifully played that time by Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones again. Stakem leaving the floor, and that's a bad thing to do because once you do that, you must commit yourself with the ball.
Washington defeating Denver, or check that, New Orleans, as you saw it. Well, Washington really pouring it on out there. I tell you what, I think right now with 49 seconds, I'm going to give my MVP to number 33, David Thompson. All right, I'll put some pressure on you now.
What happens if I disagree? It goes in the truck, right?
You walk home. Yeah, Chuck Milton will decide it, so you got to come up with one, Eric. Hey, they hit the inbounds line, so it's going to go over to Boston. 48 seconds left, 112-107, and timeout has been called here at McNichols Arena. Sad Sanders now has a real uphill climb from here on. His team was able to take the lead at the 4:34 mark, 106 to 104, had it tied up, and now it's been Dan Issel and David Thompson down the stretch that has put some breathing room between them and the Celtics. So I'll tell you right now, I'm going to vote the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player to David Thompson. You, John McLaughlin, who are you going to vote for?
Well, just to keep the pressure off of Chuck Milton, our producer, I'll agree with you, although I think you have to say that Dan Issel has been a real key here in the last 4 minutes, not only offensively, but with a couple of nice defensive plays.
Okay, so what are you saying?
The trainer won't let me get in.
All right, I'll go with David Thompson also.
You're going to go with David Thompson. All right, well, David Thompson with 29 points. Played so remarkably well. It's a tough decision.
The trainer won't let me get in.
Because Thompson has 29 points, Jones with 23, Issel with 24. All three of those were likely candidates. And don't forget John Havlicek, who fouled out with a total of 23. Here is the reason that we're going to give the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship to David Thompson. He has 29 points, 6 assists, 10 rebounds. And so that $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to North Carolina State. On behalf of David Thompson.
I have a feeling that North Carolina State will be getting a lot of those this year.
Well, it was a tough decision. The pressure's off of Chuck Milton, though. He does not have the vote, unless you want to reconsider. And Sandy Grossman, our director, he wants to get in on this.
He sure does.
What does he know?
As long as the decision has been made.
All right.
Now, don't count the Celtics out now. Stranger things have happened. 107-112. Many years ago, there's an old saying, Havlicek stole the ball. He's not in there now, but someone else might do it.
There's our guy that we've given the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship award to, David Thompson. Boy, you look back this week. He had 30 points Friday. He's got 29 now. He had 26 points on Tuesday. That's a pretty fair piece of work for a week, huh?
It sure is. I don't see how he does it. It's just an amazing play.
112-107. Bing brings it into Kevin Staken. Don Chaney. Wicks wants the basketball. You can hear him yelling for it. Take it back to Wicks. Bing wide open. 112 to 109.
The Celtics must get the ball back now and try to get 2 quick baskets or ideally a 3-point play.
We're going to have a backcourt foul on Dave Bing. You got to put your hands up on that, John.
Well, the Celtics over the limit there. Of course, that was in the backcourt. He's trying to commit the foul as quickly as possible, although I think I would have done it in the front court.
29 seconds left. You see the time remaining. Wilkerson with 8 points. I feel like this guy got him started well, Wilkerson, this afternoon. Hasn't scored a lot in the second half. He has 9 for the game.
Well, those are 2 big points right there.
114 to 109. Kevin Stakem, right in the middle. 23 seconds left. Only 3 points still. Not a very comfortable feeling. Wilkerson, by the way, has 10 assists in this game. There's Issel. He's fouled by Wicks. Wicks committing the personal foul on Dan Issel. That's his 4th personal. And there is Sanders, Casey Jones, John Havlicek. That's the first time I've seen John sit still.
Well, they've done a good job today. Undermanned. They've come in here. They've played a very fine game. They're trying to apply the pressure now, double teaming in the backcourt, of course, and that leads a number of the Nuggets up in the front court. Actually, they had 2-on-1 situation, and Issel got caught passing the ball off rather than shooting. He still gets 2.
And Issel converts, so they've hit 4 big pressure free throws down the stretch, 116 to 111. Boston's calling timeout with 14 seconds. They have no timeouts remaining. Sat Sanders desperately now, trailing by 5 points in this game, somehow like to pull it out. You know, you look at the Denver Nuggets, John. They came in here 36-21. Last year at this time, they were 38-19, so that's very comparable to a year ago. But they feel, in contrast to last year, they're not going to fade like they did last season.
Well, you know, they feel that they're stronger than they were. They feel they have more depth, and obviously the way they've been playing, that's true.
And the thing that amazes me is how much change they have made as far as personnel is concerned on the bench. And their bench today was a very integral part of this win.
Well, they always go to their bench a lot, and of course, many clubs doing that now. Many clubs using 8 to 10 people, and if you're going to run and if you're going to pressure, you must use a lot of people.
All right, Los Angeles Golden State coming up next out on the West Coast. Los Angeles did Adrian Dantley and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar combined for 50 points the other night. Golden State is getting quite a performance out of Parrish now. They're starting him in the center position.
Well, these two clubs, of course, fighting for that playoff position. They're very close in the standings, as well as Seattle, Chicago, Detroit, and Milwaukee. And I understand it looked like Seattle beating Milwaukee somewhere in the fourth quarter. We had that score earlier.
That Pacific Division is really very difficult. You look at what they have out there, I would say that the only sure thing right now on that West Coast is Portland and Phoenix, and after that, it's a real dogfight.
That's right. Of course, in this division also, you have Denver, who they're winning by a comfortable margin, 7 or 8 games. From there, it packs up very, very nicely, very tight, and it could go right down to the end of the season, depending on deciding who gets in.
Milwaukee and Chicago trying somehow to get into there. 116 to 111 at the 14-second mark of this fourth and final period here in McNichols Arena. This is the second meeting of the year between these two. First game this year won by the Nuggets 109 to 107. So they'll meet 2 more times, once here and once in the Boston Garden. Here's Maxwell. Rebound Wicks, and Wicks, they're not going to foul him on that play. They let him have it. 116 to 113. There's your time. 17 points for Sidney Wicks. In the backcourt to Jones. Wicks putting on great pressure back there. And Sidney Wicks picking up the foul. That is his 5th personal foul. So with 4 seconds left now, they head down to the other end.
Timeouts left.
Going to the line, Bobby Jones, 23 points. He was out Tuesday. This was extracted. This young man's averaged just about what he did last year. He averaged 15.1, and coming into this game today, he was at the 15-point level. But it's been said, I think probably the best way to sum him up, he's a coach's dream. He can do it all. The past week, he shot at a 68% clip from the field. 118 to 113. Big driving down, he gets 2, and that's going to end it. 118 to 115. The Denver Nuggets going on a 118 to 115 win over the Boston Celtics.
Thompson has been named the most valuable player in the game today.